What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today we've got something interesting to talk about. There's some new 6505 amps on the way from Peavey. Let's do it! Alright guys, hope you're doing great today. If this is your first time here at my channel, what I do is I take awesome high gain amps, guitars, overdrives, pickups, I record them with a simple SM57 setup, I give you guys the unprocessed audio. The reason that I tell you this, being somebody who demos high gain amplifiers a lot, I am a huge fan of the Peavey 5150 and 6505 series. I have made that really well known with my audience and a lot of the guys that I talk to who watch the channel, and I think that people will be kind of excited to hear what's going on, but at the same time it's really not that big of a departure from what is being made already. So the information that I have is, last week somebody sent me some pictures of the band Death Heaven playing live over the weekend, and in the background of those shots were some slightly different looking Peavey 6505 amps. Now, talking to some people in the know, people that I actually cannot name in this video, there are in fact new 6505 amps on the way from Peavey. When they will be released is not yet known. There are currently issues with tube supply, and that is basically the main thing kind of holding up some of the newer releases from Peavey. Peavey has some more stuff coming, not just the 6505 series, but they're kind of holding off on announcing and advertising everything until they have the stock of tubes to be able to release them to the public. But yeah, with that being said, I was able to actually get a little bit more information on these amps. With the huge resurgence in popularity with the original 5150 block letter and the 5152 that has happened, this kind of started even before Eddie's passing, but ramped up when that happened as well. You guys have seen the prices skyrocketing on the used 5150 stuff, and it's becoming harder and harder to come by. So I think Peavey really kind of listened to their fan base, their user base. While they can't use the 5150 name anymore because Eddie took that with him when he left and went to Fender, they basically wanted to revamp the 6505 series, as it kind of has gotten sort of a strange reputation over the past few years. Now everybody knows Peavey has moved their production over to China. It kind of had to stay competitive. I'm not going to get into all the details of that because everybody has their own opinions of what happened there. Not a lot of people actually know what happened. But yeah, the flagship amps from Peavey are the 6505 and the 6505 Plus. And the 6505 series kind of has had this negative stigma attached to it ever since it was moved over to China. And there's always been this debate, which I have covered on my channel multiple times with videos, that the 6505 is a different amp than the 5150. It's not. It is not a different amp. There have been slight variations to certain components within the amp. They are all the same values, but like the transformers, they had to switch transformer manufacturers at some point because their old manufacturer was no longer making transformers. And from what I have been told in recent years, some of the components have gone down in quality a little bit. So really what Peavey set out to do when they were making these newer amps is to, number one, give the amp a little bit of a facelift. It now, as you guys can see in the pictures, looks much more like the original 5150. It's got kind of like the blocky 6505 as the main logo on the faceplate of the amp. It's got the old Peavey squared off 90s logo, which I've always been a fan of personally. And then over in the other corner, I believe it has the Hartley signature you'll see in the pictures. But anyways, it looks more in line with the original 5150s, and down on the actual faceplate of the amp, the control plate, instead of either being blank like the 6505 was, or having a signature there, it now says 1992 original. And the reason that it says that is because Peavey took one of the earliest block letters ever manufactured and dissected it and really went over every component in there, compared it to what's being in production now, and tried to match up the components in the new 6505 as closely as possible to that original very early block letter 5150. The transformers are now also based on what was considered one of the best transformers out of one of the best 5150s they had. I don't know how they measure that. but that's what I was told. Like any electronic component in manufacturing, you're gonna have some variance. So what I was told is they had one of the best transformers, one of the best examples of that transformer that they could possibly find, and that is the spec that they are using for the new 6505 amps. So yeah, that is all that I was really told, and it sounds like there's really not a whole lot of variance. There's just a couple different quality level, maybe more tightly spec'd components that are going to go into the new ones. They've had a little bit of a facelift. Of course, they're not going to look that much different, but you will be able to tell pretty immediately just by the 6505 block logo being in the middle of the faceplate, whether you have a newer or a 1992 original. I'm not sure what they're going to call the 5152, or an older one. Any variants of 5150 amp, I'm going to be excited for naturally, just because I'm a huge 5150 fan. I still have a love affair with the original Peavey 5150 and 5152. I love the Fender EVH 5153 stuff. I have almost every model of 5153. I have almost every model of the 5150 created by Peavey, including the 212 combo, the 112 combo, which is the 6505 112 plus, 6505 plus. I do need a 6534 plus though. But yeah, I love these amps, and anytime that there's gonna be a new variation of the 5150 circuit, I get excited. Now, this one is probably one of the least exciting because it's basically just 6505 as it is already, with maybe a slightly different transformer. But regardless, I'm gonna get it. I am going to compare it to regular 6505s. I'm gonna compare it to 5150s. You have the 5150 Iconic that is still yet to drop. I'm gonna compare it to all that stuff because that's what I do. But yeah, I just wanted to share that bit of info. Once I saw those pictures, I had to do some digging and talk to some people, and that information that I got, I know is good based on the people that I talked to, so this is not speculation. But yeah, I am excited regardless. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Are you excited to see a new facelifted 6505 with maybe slightly better components and a better output transformer? I think that's a win-win in my situation. The price point is yet to be seen, the release date is yet to be seen. But in the meantime, I'm sure everybody will speculate wildly in the comments how it'll be way better or way worse than what's currently out there. I'm just curious to hear from you guys. Also, down in the description of this video are my Sweetwater affiliate links, my Patreon link, my Discord server, and my Facebook group. All that stuff helps my channel grow. And if you guys want to be a part of this thing, you can join all of those and help me out at the same time. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Kyle here again. We'll see you next time.